Hi, my name is Samantha Cordy. I'm a sophomore at the University of Washington. I'm double majoring in linguistics and comparative history of ideas. I'm originally from San Jose, California. It's where my family is right now. Both my parents, they both went to San Diego State, and then my younger brother Alex, who's 17. And then I also have two very old dogs. I'd say 5 words that someone who knows me well would use to describe me would probably be passionate. When I care about something, I really care about it, and I do my best to give it my all, and I let what I'm passionate about kind of drive my actions and what I pursue. Genuine. When I say something, I mean it, and when I mean something, I say it. You can always take what I'm saying at face value because I make a point to mean what I say. Helpful, whether it be lending a baking sheet to the girls that live down the hall or helping someone with their homework. I always want to do my best to help other people out. Thoughtful. If I can help someone out, if I can make someone else's life a little bit easier without them needing to ask, I always want to be able to do that for them. And finally, I'd say down to earth. I know that's not one word, but we're gonna pretend it's like hyphenated. I don't take myself too seriously, and I don't let much get under my skin. So I have been to camp, and I've definitely worked at camps. I was a Girl Scout for 12 years, first grade all the way through senior year of high school. So I've been to a lot of Girl Scout camps. I've helped host a couple Girl Scout camps. In high school, I used to volunteer at a outdoor science camp, kind of like an outdoor school where every year for 1 week I would miss a week of school and go out into the woods and teach kids about environmentalism and sustainability. And then this past summer I actually worked at a summer camp. I worked at Camp Kennelin, their newest location in Huntington Lake. It was our first year. And I worked in a cabin with like my campers, so to speak, so like 6 to 8 girls, usually ages between 9 to 14. And then I also helped lead activities throughout the day. My experiences working with children, I was a private tutor for a while, so I'm definitely used to teaching kids. Again, working at the outdoor school, the science camp, I definitely got a fair share of teaching in. And that would usually be more about like science or the environment. And then working at Kennelin this past summer, I got a bit more experience teaching kids activities. So helping kids learn how to water ski, or helping kids learn how to make friendship bracelets, or certain like techniques on the trapeze even. I got really good at quickly learning a skill so I could then teach them. Let's see. The last time I worked with a group of children is when I worked at Kennelin. Like I said, I had my group of campers that I would like eat meals with and hang out with. They were called my family group. And then I also would work hosting activities. I got lifeguard certified, so I would be on the boats or on the water most days, either lifeguarding like stand-up paddle boards or kayaks or canoes, or I'd be out on one of like the ski boats, and I'd be looking after the kids while they were wakeboarding or inner tubing or water skiing, just making sure everyone was safe. That entailed getting up when the kids get up, or realistically getting up a little bit before the kids get up so you could take a shower. And then, just hanging out with them pretty much all day until we went to bed. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. I'd say the major responsibilities of a camp counselor would be, you need to be a role model. You need to be the best version of yourself, because the kids will absolutely look up to you no matter how you act, so you better make it good. Helping kids whenever they need it, and also advocating for your kids, making sure that they're being provided with the best tools to have like the best time that they can, making sure that they're getting treated fairly, encouraging them to help others, be more inclusive. I think some personal characteristics that I have that make me a good counselor. I'm super encouraging. I remember last summer one of my girls was really afraid of the trapeze, and she wanted to do it, but she was afraid of heights. And I was in the exact same boat. I was like terrified of it. And she was like, you know what, Sam, like I'll do it if you do it. And eventually I was like, oh, I don't want to, but I did it, so she would do it. And she ended up really, really loving it. And so sometimes it just takes a bit of encouragement and stepping outside of your comfort zone to help someone else. I'm also really patient. One of my campers sprained her ankle while we were on a hike, so I kind of stayed behind with her. I was like her human crutch the mile we had to walk back to camp. And it takes a certain amount of patience, but I didn't want her to feel like abandoned or ostracized or anything, so I was like, heck yeah, like I'll hang out with you. We can hang out back here and take it a little slow, and like it worked out. And I'm also excited. I really like leading songs. I like getting into camp. I like having it be like a full experience. So I'm really excited about that. My last place of employment was Kennelin. Like I said, I worked at their Huntington Lake location, so it was their first year as well as my first year. And it was kind of a learning experience. Both as my first year as a counselor and their first year as a camp, there was a lot of kind of figuring things out as we went along. But it was fun. It was fast-paced. There was always something that we had to be doing because there was like some maintenance that had to be done just because it was like this first year of like getting things established. But eventually we left with a really like tight-knit group of counselors. I always felt like my coworkers had my back, so that was really awesome. A suggestion that I would make to management at my last place of employment would probably be really prioritize communication with the counselors, because I remember there were definitely a couple times where I would hear news or a schedule change or like a policy change even through a camper before I would hear it from management. And the counselors sometimes felt kind of left in the dark about certain things. And it was, like I said, it was a lot of us, actually all of us were first year counselors. None of us had done this before. None of us were campers at Kennelin. So we didn't necessarily always know the policies. We didn't know what to expect. And sometimes communication was just a little sparse between management and us. That's all right. The most important thing I'm looking for from an employer would probably be someone who really supports me. I want to be the best counselor I can be, but that being said, that might look different to different people, and I really want an employer that helps me be the best version of myself by telling me what that might look like and giving me the tools to be that, if that makes sense. My experience working and playing in the outdoors, I like to run outdoors. I like hiking. I have a soft spot for stand-up paddleboarding. I'm not phenomenal at it, but I love doing it. This past summer, I spent a lot of time kayaking, actually. I would lead kayak trips to a little island that was kind of in the middle of our lake. So it was like we'd kayak like an hour out and we'd hang out at this island. We'd jump off some rocks, like we'd have fun. And then we'd like kayak an hour back. So doing that trip a couple times, I definitely have some kayaking experience. We also used to do this thing called Eat Post. So we would like meal prep, we'd pack up our food, we'd hike out like 20-30 minutes, we'd build a fire, and then we'd do like kind of outdoor cooking, like we'd make little stews. And that was a lot of fun. That kind of combined like outdoor cooking as well as hiking as well as fire safety. And those would be some of the biggest experience that I have working and playing outdoors. I feel pretty good about being away from home for an entire summer. It's what I did last summer. I found that it was really refreshing, like being outdoors and like working with kids especially. It's just so rewarding that coming back to like suburbia afterwards was hard for me, because it made me realize how valuable my time outside and in the woods is. Yeah, I don't know, I'm very excited about being away, potentially, for a full summer. I think it's a really good time. And then if I could ask one question, I'd ask what your returning staff rates look like. Just because, I don't know, it's a reflection of how your staff like it. And I think that's a really important aspect of it. And how many of your staff members are like returning campers as well? So like kids that went through Walton's Grizzly Lodge and then became like counselors? And how many counselors are like coming into it with no experience with the camp? And then the number one reason I want to work at Walton's Grizzly Lodge is you guys have an amazing reputation. You guys are really well established. Like I said, working at a first year camp was kind of all over the place. There's definitely a lot of like figuring things out, and I think working at like Walton's would be really ideal because you guys have been doing this for a while. So hopefully things are a little bit more like figured out, so to speak. In terms of activities, I'd definitely be totally comfortable with guitar, song leading, stand-up paddleboarding, crafts, lanyards, and then the ones that I'd be comfortable with a little bit more training would be ceramics, etched glass, weaving, photography, any part of the ropes course. I have experience doing ropes course, but only from a camper's perspective, so I think with some training, I might be pretty good at doing it as a counselor. And then water skiing and wakeboarding, as well as horseback riding. It's been a while since I've been horseback riding, but I used to go a lot when I was younger, and I think I could pick it up again with a little bit more training pretty quickly. And then I think I would contribute kind of like a new perspective, just because I have experience from Girl Scout camps, science camps, and then this past camp Kennelin. I think I'd bring just kind of a different viewpoint, and just a little bit of like diversity in how I see things. Also, a lot of excitement about camp and being a camp counselor. I'm really dedicated to making sure that like campers feel welcome and included and important, and I think that makes me a pretty good candidate. Okay, I think that's it. So have a good day. I hope everything's going well where you are. Thanks for watching this.